Hi, we're talking to Linda Yollis, who teaches second and third graders in the San Fernando Valley. And I found her because of her wonderful blog for her second and third graders. So the immediate question that arose was why blog in the second and third grade?
Well, I was very interested in blogging. I was noticing that there were a lot of teachers that were doing blogging, and I just had an interest in it in terms of publishing for my class, primarily just for the parents in my class. That was my original intent. And what I quickly learned is the students are very motivated by having an audience. Usually it's just the classroom teacher who is the audience for any work that goes on in here. And on our blog, we have what's called a cluster map, and you get little red dots anytime someone visits the class blog. Well, the minute kids saw this and realized we had readers, they were enthusiastic about reading and writing and publishing on the web and setting a high standard for writing. So it was magic. It really is interesting for kids.
Do second and third graders type? How do you get them to blog?
Well, I wrote a grant about 7 years ago and got these little AlphaSmart typing programs that they're not even connected to the web, but every day for 5 minutes, the kids will sit and practice their typing skills on this little AlphaSmart computer. So at this point in the year, almost all of my second and third graders can type.
So give me some more examples of great blogs that have been posted, great posts that have received reaction from the students.
Yeah, at the beginning, when I first started blogging, I was just working on writing the posts and having the kids react to the post in the comment section. And I quickly realized that they didn't know how to comment on a blog. They didn't know what to say. I got a lot of "this is awesome" with 1,000 exclamation marks, or, "you rock." I really didn't get any content that I was really hoping for as an educator. And so I realized I really need to teach lessons about how to communicate on a blog, what to say. And so we started really looking at comments and talking about what makes for a good comment. I taught directed lessons about how to connect with another person in the comment, how to add more relevant information to a comment. So we taught lessons, directed lessons about it. We then made a movie about how to comment, which you might want to include in this. It's children teaching other children how to comment. And then we started blogging. I would primarily put the posts out and the kids comment back. And what I found is the kids like to interact with one another. So one post that I did was about biographies. We traditionally read a biography and write a report about it in class. I switched it around and made it a blog post for the kids. So they researched a person, maybe Sally Ride, Michelangelo, and then in the comment section, they had to post a comment telling a little bit about them as if they were that person. So we had Beethoven commenting to Chopin. We had Sally Ride talking to Elizabeth Blackwell. So there was like this great integration of the researching, the writing, and the creativity. And they'd come back and comment back and forth to one another. So I really try to make the comment section interactive. We also have a photo of the day blog, which has been really great for inspiring and motivating kids to look for visual things in their world. And they take pictures, I take pictures, we have a photo of the day. One post, it was about reasonable estimates. And the second graders were learning about reasonable estimates. And it said, would it be more reasonable to go to the library and check out 4 books or 400 books or something like that? So we took a picture. Little girl had 4 books and 40 books, and that was the photo of the day. There are 37 comments on that blog post right now. I didn't tell anyone to comment. They just started in challenging one another. Like Bryce or Colin said, I have a challenge, I'm going to make one up. If I was on a baseball team or a basketball team, would I think it was something like, would I be more likely to make 20 shots or 100 shots? Somebody commented back to him and said, well, it's hard to get the ball 100 times, so it would be hard to make 100 shots, so it's 20. And they just started making up all these different questions, challenging one another in the comments section about different reasonable estimates, flying to China, pages in a book. So it just generates interest.
Now, are they commenting in class, or do they go home and comment on the blog from their home?
Both. In the morning here, we have rotations that include blogging, so they can select. We usually meet here in the carpet, and we'll review some of the comments that we've had. We'll evaluate some of the comments that we have. We have a 1 and 2 point system that we use, and then students select where they'd like to comment, and they go over and they start in. A lot of times, I pair them up, just because we only have 6 laptops, so it's good to pair them up and they can help each other with proofreading and writing. And so it's everyday rotations with that, about 15, 20 minutes. But Howard, many of these kids go home and on, with their parent supervision because they're young, but they go on and they are drafting comments connecting to one another on our classroom blog, on the 365 blog, or another global project that we happen to be involved in right now. On their own, they are choosing to read, they are choosing to write. And if you look at the comments, they're really well written for any elementary age, but when you consider these kids are 7 and 8 years old, it's a beautiful way to practice communication, incorporate digital literacy, build a footprint. So it's like magic. I wish more teachers would consider having a blog.
So you mentioned build a footprint. I know that looking at your wiki, you teach 2nd and 3rd graders about positive digital footprints. What is it that you tell them?
Well, I tell them that everything you publish on the blog stays there forever. On the internet, everything's there. And so you want to be very mindful of what you present to the world, because the world is looking and it's remembering you. So make sure you're producing and putting out text that you're going to be proud of later in your life, pictures you're going to be proud of. And I really believe you need to be teaching kids at a young age now. You hear so much about middle school and high school, about choices kids made, foolish choices, and they're trying to fix it. At this age, we're talking about building it right now. And we will go into Google and we'll Google some of their names in here, and there it is. Mrs. Yollis said, I have a digital footprint, and look, there it is. And then we talk about, would you be proud of this? Is this something that reflects well on you? Are you happy with it? I show them my digital footprint, all of my comments that I produce, my interaction with the world, and I tell them everything I publish, I think about. So it's an important lesson at a very young age these days.
You must have a fairly enlightened administration there, because I know there's a lot of fear, even in high schools, of letting kids loose on the internet, allowing them to create material while they're in class. I agree that it's a good policy to get them engaged at a young age. Did you have to convince administrators or parents or both of the wisdom of doing this?
There was a lot of fear at first. They're mostly about being bullied, their child being bullied. And I make everything on the blog optional. No one has to participate. But they quickly see, I do a lot of parent education talking about the benefits. Parents are always looking for ways to try and improve writing. Well, the blog is a wonderful avenue for that. I tell the parents, even if their child can't type, sit with them, type the comment their child wants, but leave errors in it that your child will then have to go through and fix, like capitalization, punctuation, that kind of thing. But they're seeing the benefits of the writing, that it is really enhancing their reading skills and their writing skills, and it's guided by me. I also tell them no child should be alone at the computer. It's like a swimming pool. You teach the kids how to swim, you teach the kids how to have fun, but you don't leave a kid at the swimming pool. And the internet's like that at this young age. You really need to have supervision for them, but guide them, show them, build it.
I think that just watching this video alone will be a wonderful encouragement to a lot of teachers out there. What other words of guidance might you have to other educators about how to convince their administration and their parents that it's a good thing?
Well, just looking at the writing benefits, if you walked into my classroom and you watched my kids just read and begin writing on the blog, I mean, that's a benefit right there. The parents have told me they can't believe what high level of writing their kids have achieved, how connected they are to the world, what a wonderful experience. So modeling is a great thing. That's why my blog is public. I'm interested in other people doing that and not setting up barriers. And begin small. You can even have it be a private blog that's just your classroom or just your community, and build from that, from your own comfort level. But, begin. I also recommend pairing up with someone. There's a teacher at my school here who was watching, and she wasn't really sure. She watched me blog for a while, and then she came to me and said, I'd like to do it. I can see all the benefits of it. Can you help me? We pair up, and it's a nice thing to have that support. We trade off writing posts, coming up with ideas, helping troubleshoot, and it's just nice to have a buddy. So if you can find someone to join together with, that's a great idea too. But don't be afraid. Start somewhere.
Wonderful advice, and you've got a wonderful example, and I know that your wiki documents everything that you do for others who want to follow in your place. So keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Howard. It was a pleasure meeting you.